The Dancing with Depression podcast is brought to you by KazCM, where CM stands for Content Matters, because content brings people together. What song or songs do you connect with? How does it make you feel? Where does it take you? And who do you think of? We all have our jams. You know, the songs that we can't not dance to or stop ourselves from crying. We connect with a song for a variety of reasons. Many people relate to songs through the lyrics. When the words of a song resonate with someone's own experiences or emotions, it can create a powerful connection, whether it's a breakup, a celebration, or a reflection on life. Lyrics can capture the essence of a particular moment or feeling. There are hundreds of songs that I connect with, but 3 songs that stand out. Although the genre, the message, and the time in my life I was introduced to these particular songs vary, they are all equally impactful. For me, it's all over the board. Growing up, my dad listened to, and I'll never forget it, it was 96.1 FM. It was singers and songwriters. So we would listen to a variety of music, considering I was more of a, at the time, 90s hip hop, R&B, and pop, whatever was popular on the stations. However, throughout my 47 years on Earth, there have been different melodies, hooks, songs, and intros that just get me in some kind of mood. They're very nostalgic. It can be anything from your DJ Jazzy Jeff and Fresh Prince singing Summertime to Dr. Dre's Chronic and even just the intro, all the way back to Ice-T and Colors. Couldn't tell you other than the fact that there's something from each of these songs. The reason why I bring it up is a couple of years ago, a song came on the radio that it didn't speak to me. I felt like it was speaking for me. There were things going on in my life that were new to me and things that I had experienced even a little bit before that with my anxiety and depression. And I was just feeling things for the first time and didn't know how to say how I was feeling when somebody asked me. I'll share that song with you a little bit later, but I wanted to give you a better understanding of what I mean by different songs, lyrics, and really there being not a whole lot of rhyme and reason to why these songs affect me so much. But the first one is a song that I'll share with you the part that I know to the best of my ability. Again, I'm not a singer. I'm not a rapper. I am tone deaf, but I don't care. It's the equivalent of if the song comes on, I will dance and sing like nobody's watching me. And I'll know somebody's watching me because it's usually my wife and she's smiling from ear to ear because I think she sees that I'm genuinely having a good time. But one of the lyrics goes like this. But I can fee-fi a faux diddly bum, here I come. So Peter Piper, I'm hyper than Pinocchio's nose, cause I'm a supercalifragilistic tic-tac-pro. I gave my oopsie, Daisy, now you got the crazy. Crazy with the books, googly goo, where's the gravy? So 1, 2, buckle my, shoe, yabba-doo, hibbity-hoo, cracker Bruce, trick-or-treat, smell my feet. Ask me what that means, and I have No clue, but I love it. It's one of my favorite songs. It is They Want Effects by Das Effects. Another kind of idea or supporting the thought of songs and lyrics. This is a song that means a lot to me, and it's really more regarding the hook of the song. The lyrics themselves, and I'll share some with you, I think will be very easy to see as you get to know me that it doesn't really apply to my life, but the hook is spot on. From the career path that I chose in sales to things that I see around me, whether it be friends, business owners, churches, synagogues, politics, and everything in between. And the lyrics in this song, where you only have to know me for a short period of time to know this isn't really the lifestyle that I grew up in, but then I'll get to the hook and I'll share a little bit more in depth how it hits home. But the lyrics saying, the court played me short, now I face incarceration, pacing, going upstate's my destination, handcuffed in back of a bus, 40 of us, life as a shorty shouldn't be so rough. I've never been arrested, so I'm not going to pretend. And I'm curious if this is why sometimes it plays into why people don't understand how a 47-year-old white guy could go to several Wu-Tang Clan concerts, sing all of the words except the wrong word that you don't say. And I grew up with 36 Chambers album, and it was the clean version. But the chorus, the hook, cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money. Dollar, dollar bill, y'all. I've grown up realizing how real and how accurate those 5 words are. And that acronym. It can go back to just my career in sales. You are only as good as your last sale. And I've had people come at me and say, well, money isn't everything. Money can't buy you happiness, and money can't give you more time, and all of the other cliches that I've heard. And on the surface, what they're saying, there's truth to that. But if you go outside of the black and white of that statement and you travel into the reality, not the gray area, the reality, cash does rule everything around us. You want more time, whether it be years in your life or time with your family, having more money can help do that. I'm not going to pretend to be a doctor. I've said this several times, but I don't doubt for a second that Magic Johnson's money led to resources, led to opportunities that afforded him that most might not have been able to afford. Yes, the same Magic Johnson that was HIV positive and has lived a fruitful life, helping thousands, if not tens of thousands of people. But it started with having the funds to do it. So I will kindly say that it's not everything. It's not the only thing. And you don't want to chase it thinking that it is. Because as a 47-year-old growing up with the 90s hip hop, it's also important to remember that the Notorious B.I.G. spoke about Mo Problems having more money. And that is true as well. So it is a balance. But for me, again, the theme or the message that's being delivered in Cash Rules Everything Around Me is just something very, very close. Even though as I've established, I've not dealt with having to overcome the heartaches and pain because we got stick up kids, corrupt cops, and crack rocks and stray shots all on the block that stays hot. You're right. I can't relate to that. I can empathize with someone that has grown up in those situations. But the part that speaks to me is, in fact, the chorus, the hook. On to something a little bit lighter. Again, as time goes on and as different songs enter my life, there's another song that opened up my heart. And it was a beautiful song in 2015, but it became the most beautiful song in 2016. And that is From This Moment On by Shania Twain. Now, Bobby and I didn't have a formal wedding. We had witnesses and we celebrated with my brother, my best friend, and his wife afterwards at a casino in Connecticut and had a blast. So we chose our song. And it's hard to believe that somebody could write a song decades before you meet the person that makes you the happiest. And it was as if the song was written for us. Just looking at the lyrics, from this moment, life has begun. I had said that I didn't feel like I was living before I met Bobby. From this moment, you are the one. There's no question in my mind. And I know we'll have people on both sides of this where, oh, that's beautiful, or, well, wait until. That's fine. People have their opinions. It's okay. Right beside you is where I belong. And when I was standing inside of the temple as my dad married us, I knew that everything was going to be okay. And there's more inside of this song that just speaks to Bobby and I's love for each other. And I hope, I wish, and I feel that everybody deserves that. But I will say the one thing I learned along the way is you have to learn. You have to go through your stuff. Bobby jokes about wishing she had met me 20 years earlier. And I tell her from the bottom of my heart, I'm glad we didn't. I wasn't ready. I wasn't mature. I hadn't experienced what I needed to experience to understand myself and appreciate you to the level that I am able to now. So we got a chance to explore my love for hip hop. We got a chance to explore my love for Bobby and the song that, in my opinion, speaks to who we are and how we feel about each other. And now the song that I mentioned that came out of what felt like nowhere had me literally crying in my car 15 seconds into the song. And it's because the singer was saying what I was unable to say because I didn't know how to say it. And how I felt and the words that were going to come out of my mouth felt like I shouldn't say it. Like I could hurt someone, I could hurt myself, I could hurt the way people looked at me, even though this is how I felt. And the name of the song is Numb Little Bug. And if I'm going to pronounce her name incorrectly, I sincerely apologize. But the song is by M. Behold. And I'm going to just kind of go through some of these lyrics and share with you where I was at. And it starts off, and this is what really caught my attention. It starts off with, I don't feel a single thing. Have the pills done too much? I had been on medication for a few years for my depression and really did start to feel just kind of blah. I was able to get through things that I had not been able to get through before, whether it was work stress, whether it was relationship stress, whether it was anything stress related or something that triggered my depression, I was starting to be able to get through some of those things. But man, I almost felt like I would have rather have tried to fight through it without being on the medication because I felt a different kind of way. Haven't caught up with my friends in weeks, and now we're out of touch. This one was a little bit further than my friends. This was actually, I had a very difficult time reaching out to my parents, whom I'm very close with, who support everything that I do. And I feel amazing after I talk to them. But the phone was heavy, and I just kept coming up with excuses that I would call later, or I was tired from work because, I make 50 to 70 calls a day. And it just got to a point where it didn't make sense. Then, do you ever get a little bit tired of life? Like you're not really happy, but you don't want to die. That's where I lost it. Because I didn't want to die, but I wasn't happy. Everything was a struggle. I was trying to balance my survival and not be a fraud to Bobby. Couldn't do simple things like go out to dinner. Didn't really want to be around other people. Work, I won't even get into that. There were things at work that I was having anxiety attacks on my way to meetings, and it was suffering. And in case you remember what I said, I was in sales. You're only as good as your last sale. You're not selling, you're out of a job. Talk about additional stress. So again, I can literally take this song line by line and tell you that if the lines were punches, it was Mike Tyson punching me for 3 minutes and 26 seconds straight because it was that impactful. So I'm so very curious to know what songs speak to you, what lyrics speak to you, what things do you get from music? Love to hear from you. Please share. You can email me at dancingwithdepression@yahoo.com. Thank you for joining us on another episode of Dancing with Depression. There's a saying that hindsight is 20/20, which is often used to describe the phenomenon of being able to see things more clearly after they've happened. With that in mind, I encourage you to reflect back on past experiences in an effort to better understand your now. Also, I invite you to share with me your comments, thoughts, or personal exposure to depression. You can email me at dancingwithdepression@yahoo.com. Until next time, keep moving forward. And when it comes to depression, remember to take the lead.